All right, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Yeah, yeah, you be the let me think. I think you're the second author that I interviewed. I don't know if you know Molly Assad. She's a real successful author. She's on Amazon too. She
Not,
she became a millionaire off her book. I
I'm
interviewed
hoping I'll
her.
hit that.
Yeah. I interviewed her a little over a year ago.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, where you from and how old are you?
I'm originally from Jamaica. I currently reside in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Big six. I'll be 61 this year.
Okay. And what's the first thing that come to mind when you hear your city where you from?
Say that again?
What's the first thing that come to your mind when you hear your city where you from?
Problem, man. So what we say in Jamaica, no problem. And we have Jamaica's rich culture, wonderful food. Have you ever had anything from Jamaica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Jamaican food before. Yeah, it was a Jamaican when I was at Fort Knox out here at the military base. He used to be cooking at a food truck, and he used
Yeah.
to have a jerk chicken
Ah,
and
right. Curried goat,
some rice and
oxtail.
stuff. Yeah, I eat all that stuff.
And we have the most beautiful beaches.
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't been there yet. That's on a bucket list. I see a lot of people been going on vacations there.
You haven't lived until you've visited Jamaica. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. So, describe your childhood and teenage years growing up. Like, how was it growing up? Where you from?
Jamaica, growing up, I had a great childhood. There were, issues as it's common to many. I grew up on a farm. We did a lot of farming, plant your own stuff. We had acres and acres of land. And I have fond memories of skipping school to plant and reproduce. So some of the most memorable times, playing with lizards, riding the donkeys, you know, fun with each other as siblings and friends and family in the community. So raised by a single mother and extended family, and the village, as I call my community, because everybody knew everybody and helped with, all the children around.
Okay. So, did you have a two-parent household? Any siblings?
I had single mother and I had five siblings, raised in an extended family with grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins. Yeah,
Okay.
house was always full of family and friends.
Yeah, that's the best way to be. Is more exciting vibe all the time.
Yes.
So for someone that ain't never been to Jamaica before, describe some of the struggles and that you have to, like a everyday child or teenager going into adult, have to endure growing up in Jamaica.
well, well, we didn't have running water at home in the beginning. So then we'd have to go fetch water somewhere and then we'd be carrying the pan on our heads.
Oh dang.
We'll do laundry at the river. Back then those days were fun. You go to the river and do your scrubbing and hang it out on the rocks to dry, swim, you know, you know, clean the house on Saturdays, go to church on Sundays. So Sundays there's no house cleaning because we have to do all that before Sunday because Sunday was reserved for church. So yeah.
Okay, so what activities were you into as a kid? Did you play any sports or anything like that?
And and school I did volleyball and track, but mostly volleyball. That was my love. Still have a love for volleyball, which I had a team where I lived right now.
Okay. So did you have anyone in your family that's involved in like the book business as far as like authors and anything like that, or are you the first one?
And the first author in the family that I'm aware of, and that came about by quite by accident, actually. How that started last January, I was navigating my page on Facebook, and this message just flashed across about a 30-day writing challenge hosted by Nelena Kai, international bestselling author. At the time, I didn't know anything about her. I just responded to the message and said I was interested. Don't know why. So she invited us to a Zoom meeting, and we went, and I said yes. And the challenge paid off. I'm a member of a tribe called NK Tribe Called Success. Wonderful set of authors who support each other. We're at all different stages. Some have written over 40 books or more. National bestsellers, award-winning authors who have helped us shape the new authors, including me. So
Okay, so that process that you just talked about, would you say that's what led you to writing books?
yes, because that challenge was for a 30-day challenge, and it was either for self-help or memoir. And I was like, I don't know anything to do self-help, so I chose a memoir, which I didn't know what I was going to write about. So it started, and 30 days later, I was finished, went through the editing process, and self-published,
So,
thanks to the group.
so that's when. So you wrote your first book last year.
Yes, I just started writing last year, January,
Okay.
and published in June of last year.
Okay, so this is something on my bucket list. I know I'm gonna hit my friend up later on this week because he knows like the ins and outs of how to get your books everywhere in the country and things like that. And he has a book writing course teaching people how to put their books out and write their books. So like as far as like your process of writing books, do the writing process come easy for you, or is it something like you have to just live and go through stuff and then you just write as it comes?
Oh, sometimes you'll sit down and depending on what you're focusing on that day, it will flow. And some days it will be like, oh my gosh, it won't come. And, you just, what I do, I'll just walk away, do something else. One of the things I do, I like to lift. So I'll either go lift some weights or walk or just do something else. And I don't necessarily write in order. So if I'm working on something that I think maybe chapter one and it's not flowing, I leave and go to the end or something else, or just leave it totally and focus on something else.
Okay, so you say you wrote your first book last year. What's tell the people what's the name of the book and
My
how long no, without telling what it's about, but like like just a kind of a direction of where it's going.
okay, my first book was published in June last year. I wrote in January, went through editing. The title is Things That Keep Me Up at Night. It's based on my journey from childhood adversities to the successful person I am today, thriving. Speaks about, things that happened to me during my childhood and throughout my life and how
Um,
I overcame those adversities. So it became an Amazon #1 bestseller, was
mm,
on that list for several weeks. And it has helped a lot of survivors, I can say, survivors, to share their story also, knowing that they are not alone. And so it has opened the door.
okay, so most things, you could be talented at things and some things can come second nature to you. But as you start putting out these books and you start, because it's different when you just writing it because you don't know anything you do. You could be playing sports, anything. You don't know how big it's gonna get when you're doing it. So uh when you first put your first book out and you start getting reactions back from people, describe how that was, because I know that's your had been the first time you was getting a overpouring of love of people saying how it affected their lives. And I know as a writer and author, that had to be Yeah, that had to be like a real dope moment for you to
It
feel.
was very, very exciting. I was speechless and like I was like almost giddy in the beginning. I was like, I don't know how to behave. It's like, I remember we were on Clubhouse at a launch party and with my Nalina Kai's group, and we were talking about it. I'm like, I don't know how to behave. It's so exciting. And over time you get accustomed to it. And people reach out to you and you realize the impact it was causing. And I was like, I was not something I had anticipated. So to this day, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, my little book, you know.
So how many books you have out right now?
Right now, 4 on sale, 1 in editing, and another almost finished.
Okay.
So
So what's the name? Well, you already said the name of the first one. What's the name of the other 3?
the second one is 90 Days of Pleasure. It's a part of a standalone series. The brainchild of Nelina Kai. Also, she co-authored with me on this one. The third one I contributed to, the third and fourth, The Right Stuff. That's authors contributing to encourage and support new authors, how to write their book and get it from here to paper. And then the fourth, it's marketing. After you've written the book, what do you do then? Publishing and getting it into the hands of the readers. And the fifth one in editing, it's called Vocation, Answering the Power Voice of God's Calling. And the sixth is another series, Ladies of the Castle. And that's not finished yet. We're working on that one with the group. It's a series.
So the other 3 that's already out, when did you write those? Did those come out shortly after the first one?
The second one was in November, and the other 2 is on pre-sale right now, pre-order right now.
Okay, so you ain't officially dropped the other 2.
Yes, they're complete and on a pre-order. They're not released yet. They're up for release.
Do you have a release date for those, or you don't want to say yet?
There is a release date, but it's eluded me right now. So it's sticking in my, but
Okay.
it's up for pre-order, and they are both number 1 on the pre-sale.
Okay. So who would you say that was your mentor through all this, as far as giving you advice on going through this process of becoming an author, or did you just figure it out on your own?
No, thank God for Nelina Kai, who's initiated that 30-day writing challenge. I remember a couple weeks after I started, and she paired me up with a coach. And my coach is J.L. Campbell, an author of over 40 books, a international best-selling author. She lives in Jamaica. So she's my official editor and coach. And I remember a couple weeks in, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't find so many words to finish a whole book. What am I going to write? And Nelina Kai called me and like, what's going on? How far are you in the process? And every excuse I came up with, she met with a comeback. It's like, oh no, you can record while you're driving. You can do this, you can do that. And I just started writing. I'll record on my way to work. I was an emergency room nurse at the time. So I'll be on my break, I'll be jotting down stuff on paper or writing on the notepad in my phone. And the book was finished. So this is not, for me, it wasn't alone. I had a group of other authors in the tribe, NK Tribe called Success, and I could reach out to any of them for any advice I have. Because
Okay.
my coach was like there all the time. Nelina Kai was there all the time. And, so I had all the support I needed. Beta readers, editors, the cover designer is Nelina Kai's son, J.L. Woodson. He does all our covers. He's amazing. And it was a fun process.
Okay. So earlier, so would you say the earlier parts of your life, um, did you ever think that you will become an author? And what inspired you to start writing books before you seen that challenge?
I had no plan to write before the challenge. I I have in the past written poems, which I just kept to myself. But prior to that challenge, nothing. So that was like, woo. And then I got bitten by the bug through the process, and
Mm.
here I am.
Yeah.
Doing
So have the reactions from your books, have they been more online, or have you come across some people in person?
I have come across people in person, not a lot, but mostly online, a lot online.
How are the in person reactions?
Oh, or like I go to events and saw the book, and it's like, oh, you're the author, and then we get pictures, yeah, or on the phone. One time I called Amazon UK because someone wanted the book and it wasn't available. So I called Amazon UK and I was talking to the customer service rep, and she said, oh, you're the author. And I'm, yes. Oh my God, I'm talking to an author, she said. I was like, I'm like, oh yes, I'm an author, you know. Yes, it gets exciting sometimes, but I don't let it get to my head.
Mhm. So what are some things you like doing in your spare time when you're not writing books?
I love to read, and so I do a lot of that. I read all genres. I love to work out. I take physical fitness very seriously. And sometimes I like to try new recipes.
Mm.
And I need to get back into socializing. I like to get out and, talk to people.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very rare that I run across authors. I only know probably five authors in my whole life, as far as writing books, because I know that's something that's been on my bucket list as far as, writing a book about all the things I went through in the military and growing up and things like that. So I was like, I know I could write about 200 pages on all the stuff that I've been
We
through.
all have a story to tell.
Yeah.
There are people who can help you to tell it well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because some people believe that, oh, I don't know English, I can't write a book, and I don't know how to tell the word. Just write it. There are professionals who can help you shape it into a beautiful book.
Yeah, it's almost like Steve Harvey said, you gotta jump. Some people be scared to jump. You gotta take the initial step and see what happens.
Okay, it's either you fall to the ground or you fly, right?
So what would you say out of all the books that you have out right now, what would you say is the most successful one right now? The first one?
The first one.
Mm.
And that's the one I'm really more proud of, I guess, because it's about me and the fact that it's ministering to a lot of people. So it's helping others, and that means a lot to me.
Okay. So how do you determine how long the books are gonna be? Because one thing I think about with anything as far as content or someone dedicating time towards something is people attention spans, or how long they want to keep reading or something like that. So how do you determine how many chapters or how many pages, or you just go with the flow and whatever it is, that's what it is.
I think it depends on the subject matter. You want the story to unfold until it's complete. And you know when that is, because some things, okay, that shouldn't be in there, you can leave that out. But you do want to tell a complete story so the reader can get the full, like I write about my life, so they can get from point A to point B without like, so why I don't know anything about that. So just make sure there are no unexplained gaps. I don't know if you understand, if you get what I mean. So make the story complete.
Okay. So, are you currently mentoring anybody as far as have anybody came to you and asked you to help them write a book or?
Yes, but I've not started with her because she's not ready. But I've been contacted.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm willing and able to assist.
Okay. So what would you say is the most satisfying thing about the whole the end result since you start putting out books and people giving positive reactions to it? What would you say is the most satisfying thing through this whole process? And what was your goal initially when you first started putting out these books?
Well, my goal was to finish a book. I didn't know and make money. He was like, okay, it's costing me, so I need to make money. But I think the most rewarding for me was that people were helped. It's serving others. So that's very rewarding for me. So even if the money doesn't come, it has done its job. I've done my job.
Okay.
Part of my purpose is serving others, and this book is serving.
Absolutely, I can understand that. So, when you reach a certain level of success, you could have it in different areas of the world, but ain't nothing like, having success and you go back home and you feel that love back home versus in other places. So when you start going through this process and people back home knew that you was doing this and started putting out books and things like that, how was the reactions back home? Did you get a lot of positive feedback when you start going back home and things like that?
I haven't been home since because of COVID. So I have not been back home yet. So I'll have to wait and see.
Oh, oh when
Yeah.
when do you plan on going back?
I don't have a trip scheduled yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm pretty sure.
But go ahead.
What was you about?
I was going to say, but speaking with individuals on the phone, the reaction has been positive. And my books are also reviewed in the Jamaican Observer, which is the newspaper over there. So it's been very well received.
Yeah, I know when you do eventually get a chance to go over there, like it's different, I mean, getting stuff on the phone is all good, but
Exactly.
when you see it face to face and people embrace you like 5 feet away from you, that's more satisfying. I feel like when you go back home, when you do go back home, that'll be one of the best moments that you'll probably remember, when people coming up to you on the same streets you grew up on, saying that, hey, I read your book.
And I must say, it's a memoir. So it's not positive for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
So yes. So let me point that out. It's not positive for everyone. There are some objections to some of the content. So
Oh,
by
yeah.
by like just a fraction of individuals who didn't see the whole picture, because the focus for them is on not what the book is about.
Okay. Yeah, I will see, like, I think everybody can relate to your first book because whenever you tell a story about yourself, whether you're a musician, author, or however you express yourself, talking about your life, that's you being vulnerable. So a lot of people can relate and respect, when people are open enough to, because a lot of people don't like talking about their past experiences and struggles that they've been through. So for you to be able to put that in a book, knowing possibly hundreds of thousands to millions of people is going to know what you've been through, that's a real big step right there.
Yes. And your story is not for everyone. It doesn't matter if the book is fiction or a memoir, it's not for everyone. So if you were writing a book, just not everyone is going to like it.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. You have to have some type of draw the line. I would say you'd be like, hey, yeah, I understand, but this is what I'm doing.
Yes, I'm okay.
So what would you say, what's your short and long term goals as far as your books or, anything in life, like as far as like what you want to achieve?
What I want to do is, based on my life experience, and plus I've been a nurse for over 24 years,
Mm.
and I've learned skills and resources that have helped me to get my life on the right track. So my vision is to help others who have had their life disrupted by any kind of loss, reignite their passion and move from stuck to limitless. So I'd like to get in the speaking circuit
Mm.
and coaching. So that's my goal.
Oh, so when you say speaking circus, are you saying like motivational speaking or
Yes, speaking.
okay? Do you think that you're gonna put out some motivational books or do you already have some in the making right now?
I'm going to. I'm down the road.
Okay. So this is like gonna be like a new way of life for you. It's not no end game with you as far as writing books. You're gonna be writing books for the foreseeable future now.
Yes, that's a vision of mine. That's material that's going to impact the life of others.
Okay. Yeah, that's I feel like authors is probably it gotta be the smallest occupation, like as far as like next to scientists or something like that. Cause you don't hear a lot of people say, oh, I write books. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll have people say, oh, I read books, but as far as writing books, that's a different level. I have
But
like
there are lots of authors out there, you know, like independent published authors like I am. There are many of us out there. You don't hear about us because we're not published by the big name publishers, but we're out there. There are a lot of people who have written books and published quietly.
so what would you say is your favorite type of book to write? Do you have a favorite type of book that you like to write? Is it like more like life situations or what is it?
I find the life situations are easier to write than the fictional, but I enjoy writing both.
Okay. You don't have a favorite.
Not yet. Maybe as I write more and more, I'll develop a favorite. But,
Okay. Do you have any collabs in the future as far as like, working with any type of big time authors that people might know, as far as like books or things like that or anything?
Nalena Kai is well known. Um, I don't know if you've heard of her in Clubhouse. She's goes in those rooms
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
I haven't. I just started. I used to go in those rooms for about a year straight, and then I took like a break. Like I ain't been in there in like months. That was my first time coming in there in like months.
So there's Nalena Kai. My second book, I collaborated with her. And she's the leader of our NK tribe called Success, a group of authors that I mentioned. Phenomenal group of people who help and support each other, cross promote each other's work. So who knows?
How does collaborations go for people that don't know as far as like books, like when authors collab with each other? Do y'all uh like take turns writing chapters or like how does that work?
We may write a series with different books, and each author write a separate book, or
Okay.
like the one I collaborated with her on 90 Days of Pleasures, we just write it
Okay.
together. We didn't say you write this chapter, I write this chapter. It was just a collaborative effort.
Okay. Would you say collaborations is beneficial, or is it just something that people like to do if they got a relationship with a person? Or
For me, it's better if you have a relationship, but I'm sure there are authors who have done it without a direct relationship based on what they need at the time for the project they're working on.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as 2022 and the near future, just tell the people what you got coming as far as books or anything you want to promote, and or next year, in the near future, what you got coming.
Well, my fourth book, Vacation, will be released in a couple months. And another series I'm working on with the NK Tribe called Success will be released at the end of the year. And the marketing stuff and the right stuff are up for pre-order, and they're only 99 cents right now. So get them before the price goes up.
Hey, yeah, that's dope. That's a real dope price right there.
Yeah, 99 cents, right? So
Yeah.
grab your copy.
Yeah. So do you try to space your books out like every couple months as far as like dropping?
We don't really try for that. When they're ready, and we do schedule release dates, but not like, okay, we are waiting for 2 months to pass or 3 months to pass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I meant to ask you this earlier. Where is your book available? Like besides Amazon, is it available in other places?
It's available on Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Barnes Nobles, Target, and Walmart.
Okay. And as far as Apple and stuff, is that including like audio books too?
It's not an audiobook currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's dope. So like everybody, that's all the places. You got to go to one of them places. You got to go to
Exactly.
Everybody go to Walmart, and everybody spend money that they don't need to be spending on Amazon all the time. So
All the time. Tell me about that. Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon is a devil. You gotta stay off of there.
Go for one thing and you end up with a basket.
I mean, I spent $200. Be like, dang, I came on here for a T-shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how to draw you in.
But yeah, I definitely looked up your books and stuff, and I like everything that you got going on. I'm definitely gonna read the first book that you put out about your life story, because I like reading people's life stories, especially minorities. You gotta support each other.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciate you coming on a podcast, and just like I tell everybody, I don't just do interviews. I talk about real life stuff too. Like I did episodes with police brutality, child support, fake friends, relationships, like 50-50 in relationships, like any topic that I think a person gonna come across in their adult life, because I feel like we don't have enough dialogue amongst each other as far as like hearing different perspectives of how people think, because they give reassurance in ourselves when you hear some other people, either from a different background or from the same background, that think the same way you do. And you'd be like, oh, well, I might not be crazy because these people talking about the same thing that I think in my head all the time. So that's the main reason I started my podcast. I started this like 2 years ago in April in 2020. So
That's good, because sometimes we're experiencing things and we think, I'm alone, that's I'm the only one going through that. And so when others share their story, it helps you.
Yeah, I had a friend recently. We did an episode about 3 weeks ago. And after we got off, he called me and he was like, man, I needed that. He was like, that was like a mental release because I happened to be doing a topic on something that he was currently going through, but I didn't know he was going through it at the time. So that was real refreshing to know that he was able to release whatever he had built inside of him, you know.
Yeah, that's what my book does. And
Yeah, but I definitely finna get into writing because it seems real therapeutic. I used to write a lot when I was a kid, but as I got adult, you know, joining the military and getting into other things, I kind of strayed away from it. But that's something that I really want to do because I don't think nobody in my family has ever wrote a book. So I'll be just like you, be the first one to ever put a book out. So
it's really therapeutic. It really is.
so you got any closing remarks that you want to say about what you got going on before we get off here?
Mm, Closing remarks. Everybody has a story to tell. So we all have a book inside of us. Don't hesitate. And you don't have to try to write it alone. There are professionals out there who can help you. I'm one of them. You can contact me.
And
So,
how people can contact you and what's all your social medias and things like that.
you may contact me on all social media platforms as Marie McKenzie. I just started my YouTube channel from stuck to limitless. So that's there also. You will find me on YouTube also.
Okay. And I appreciate you coming on the podcast. And anytime that you want to come on a platform and talk about what you got going on, or if you have any real life topics, I tell all my friends, like, you know, if you went through something at work or something you went across, you know what I'm saying? I have people hit me up all the time with topic, hey, we need to talk about this on the podcast, you know. So you can hit me up anytime and we can set up a date to do it. You know, I do like at least 1 or 2 episodes a week. I know the other lady that you tagged me,
Referred.
yeah, she's coming on next Monday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so this episode I'm gonna drop this next Monday because I just dropped the episode today that's going crazy right now. I was talking about complacency and relationships and molding people into what they wanted to be in relationship. I think a lot of people go through that as far as trying to.
Yes, a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, me and my buddy was talking about it for about an hour. So I think a lot of people will like that one. It's on my YouTube channel. So,
Yeah, I've subscribed, so I'll listen.
all right. And I appreciate you. And if you have any feedback from any of my previous episodes, I like to hear feedback as far as like, you know, positive and negative, you know, of what you think about episodes. You know, I got 50, I think 55 or 56 episodes right now. So
I I listened. Sorry, I listened to one yesterday. What's his name? Was a Christian author, singer.
oh, you're talking about Sleep Parker.
Parker
No, it's Byron Walker.
Barron. Yes, I listened to
Yeah,
that
that's it.
yesterday.
Yeah, you know, he's an independent gospel artist. He's #1 on the Billboard charts with that Send Me song. That's the guy that I was talking about. He write books and he has a book writing course. That's actually my friend.
Oh,
So I'm that's the one I'm gonna link up with to get the book because get that whole process started because his book is in every bookstore that it could be in. Like he know how to get it in every bookstore in the country. Like he got it in Books a Million everywhere, you know.
wow. Yeah, I enjoyed that episode. I listened to it yesterday.
Yeah, I get a lot of reviews from the ones from the first season that I did in 2020. My 2 most popular episodes I did 2 years ago. And
Wow.
Fake Friends episode and a police brutality episode.
Good. Great
Yeah,
job. Keep it up.
right. And appreciate you coming on. This concludes today's episode, and you have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.